remind you that the content is not suitable for children. So today, I'm going to tell you the story of a Russian cannibal couple. The story begins in southern Russia on the 11th of September 2017, when some road construction workers find a discarded cell phone on the ground. As it is still functioning, they have a look inside it and swipe through the photos to see what they could find. They come across some very shocking images. A selfie of a man holding in his mouth a woman's hand that had been cut off. They immediately brought the phone to the police station. The man on the pictures is called Dmitry Baksheev, 35 years old. He was born on the 28th of January 1982 in southern Russia. He was brought to an orphanage shortly after he was born and adopted at the age of 3 by a couple named Svetlana and Vladimir. His life went well until his mother died when he was 15 years old, and his father, who was very upset, started to become violent towards Dmitry, and he kicked him out of the home. So Dmitry was homeless at 15 years old, but he managed to find a job in construction. He didn't have much of a social life, he didn't have any friends, he'd never had a girlfriend, and he would hang out in bars with heavy drinkers, with alcoholics, even though he didn't drink himself. And this is where he met his wife, Natalia. Now, Natalia is 7 years older than Dmitry. She was born in 1975. She was raised by her mother and her grandmother. She used to be a nurse at the department of a military aviation school. She met her first husband when she was 23 and they had a son. Shortly after that, her husband died and she started drinking a lot and ended up losing her job because of it. She checked herself in a mental hospital, thinking she needed help. She thought maybe she had a manic disorder, so doctors passed tests on her and found that she was 100% mentally fit. There was nothing wrong with her, so they let her go. So she meets Dmitry. The two of them get married. When the police gets hold hold of this phone, they are able to trace who it belongs to, and they have Dmitry come over for interrogation. He claims that he had found these body parts in a bush and that he had simply taken a few selfies and wasn't linked in any way. Police, of course, did not believe this story, and they went over to the couple's apartment and found fragments of human body. Human remains that had been cut up and put into some jars with salty water. They found food and frozen meat parts from unknown origins, and more remains were found in the basement. They found 19 pieces of human skin, 7 body parts, and canned food with human meat, including mammary glands. There was also a glass jar with a hand in it. The police found that the body parts were from the body of a 35-year-old woman called Elena Baksheev. She was a waitress, and they had met her in a bar and were drinking together when Elena and Natalia had an argument, and Natalia became very angry. She told Dmitry to kill her, so he stabbed her, and Natalia also participated in the murder. She was stabbed to death and dismembered. They kept some of the remains, and the others were thrown away in the surrounding area. The couple had slipped canned human meat to soldiers in the military academy. They had put body parts, human flesh, in meat pies, and had also supplied local restaurants. They claimed to be responsible for the disappearance and death of up to 30 people. Victims include women who went on dating sites and who went missing after arranging to meet up with men. In the apartment, they also found some cooking recipes that Natalia had written on how to cook human flesh. She had also made some videos, and there were a lot of photos lying around the apartment. One of them was the photo of a man's head on a silver tray surrounded by oranges, with olives in his eye sockets and half a lemon on his nose. And there was a date on this photo. It was taken on the 28th of December 1999. The couple had been killing for 20 years. Investigators believed that they knocked out their victims with sedatives and skinned them alive. Natalia to murder and sentenced to 10 years in a penal colony, plus 1.5 years in prison. Penal colony is a settlement where prisoners are placed in a remote area and are forced to do labor. And in Russia, they are often sent to very harsh climate areas, such as Siberia. She appealed the decision, but the sentence remained unchanged. On June